probably wondering what the heck is a no job podcast. Well, today we're going to talk about it. To get to the point here, I'm your host, Brendan Brown of Host of the Development Pod. I usually have many different series where I catch up on my mainstream episodes where I'm doing a solo, standing while talking, sitting down like this, which I rarely do. I either do my interviews, do those character series like Obi-Wan Kenobi, Kratos, still got to work on some more, stay tuned for that. And now this is a new little series I got for my YouTube viewers, podcast viewers as well. But when it comes to audio episodes, all of them are the same. But of course, a video, I can section them out on different playlists. So if you're watching this, I'm assuming you probably clicked the playlist, or either this may be a new episode to you. This series is called The Thoughts, meaning the thoughts or reviews of how I see different channels, different things, and just different forms of content that may be in the niche I'm doing, or maybe it could be outside the niche too. But most of the time, I'm trying to stay in line what's in my niche. This is why I want to do a review of the No Job Podcast. I did a review before on my old channel. You ever saw that one? That one was probably good, but not as edited well. But the No Job Podcast basically is, like it's in the title, is basically talking about how to pursue your passion and purpose without living a 9-to-5 job, or how to escape the 9-to-5 route to pursue your purpose. So it's hosted by Najee Simmons. It started around late 2020 with the marketing. Early 2021 was when the show had started. It was good. It was really good.
Really good.
Lasted a whole year. Because I think around late 2021 was when it stopped airing episodes. And then the guy said he would come back for season 3. Never came back for season 3 yet. I assumed he told me that he wasn't going to come back for season 3, but I don't hardly remember. So I don't want to lie or say stuff that he probably said. I don't put words in his mouth. So I just assume that when I contacted him last time, I think he did tell me he was supposed to come back, but he didn't. And then also with his family and things, I think that was the reason that played a role. And I think he had told me that he retired because of the fact that he had his family. So all of this just me assuming. So I'm not 100% confirming because I don't remember it. So I could be wrong. Personally, I contacted Najee Simmons, so the only thing I can assume is that they have stopped. Of course, he's more of a family man, and he just recently got a new baby. So when he was recording that first season, I think his first baby was still a baby. But why I want to talk about this dead podcast and why it should be revived. But you're probably wondering, why am I talking about this dead podcast? Well, this video is somewhat of a video or letter to Najee Simmons to tell him, please get the podcast back on again, because I really enjoy it, because he is a great speaker. It's also just breaking down how his podcast is. So I don't really have this scripted out, so the meaning behind the podcast show was talking about purpose. That's why I liked it. That's when I first watched it in January 2021 and started marketing. I was amazed. And it was one of the inspirations why I did this video podcast, because this podcast was a video podcast and audio. With him talking about purpose, that led me into the factor of thinking of, 9-to-5 jobs aren't what we think they are. Because I was always raised on the fact that, hey, you working a job was always normal. But around that time when he released those episodes, I was around the transition period where people were knowing that, hey, following your purpose is more better. And of course now in 2023 standards, as it's recording, and maybe in the future, it's normalized now that we can do our passions, don't have to work a 9-to-5, especially with AI playing a role in now. It's just really been different. Also, talking about AI, I would love to hear his perspective on that now that, it's 2023 and things have changed. But to get back to the point here, his message was always to help you know that whatever you're doing, you can pursue your passion and leave that 9-to-5 job. Quality. So the quality of this content was really awesome. I really never thought he was a small YouTuber, because like when I saw the marketing, everything, he put his heart and soul into it. And whoever was that photographer or video guy, because I know there's a videographer guy or whoever who did it, credit to him for doing it. I know his name. I just can't remember it by now, my thoughts. But he helped out with Najee when it came to like pictures and videos and everything. And so I just wanted to address the fact that Najee did a good job with his content. I don't know why he stopped, because like I said, that same studio he was in, that person who did the photography, he had a podcast too with his wife, if I'm not mistaken, and they had their own podcast. And like I said, the quality was awesome. And quality isn't always about the video and stuff like that. It's always about the words, which I already mentioned the words, of course, but I didn't mention the interviews. His interviews, he had wonderful guests. Some of these people didn't really have platforms now, if I'm not mistaken, but they did have businesses, or they either were people who worked at 9 to 5 and escaped the route to pursue their dream and purpose. And it was awesome. Fun fact here, I always talk about how Najee Simmons was one of the main factors of me becoming a motivational speaker, because he's a motivational speaker and he's from the same state as me. But also, this host of the No Job podcast is cousins with Najee Simmons, which makes kind of more sense why they're both kind of influential in the podcast niche with their podcast, of course, in my opinion, how I see it. And so I really enjoyed what Najee put into his content when it came to his quality, and also his styles. His styles, like his theme colors, like yellow and kind of reddish, kind of like blackish. I like those theme colors, so that was awesome too. Just a little brief thing about that. The why. Why should you watch this podcast? Why should you know about this podcast? Why do I personally like it as a podcast host? Well, because as a podcast host speaking for another podcast host, it's awesome. But also as looking at from as a viewer, especially in that niche of wanting to, especially in that demographic of wanting to pursue my purpose and not work a 9 to 5. It's awesome. What he talked about is true. It's not all about like, hey, good sunshine, rainbow, and roses, because he even talks about it like, it is a struggle for you to transition from leaving a 9 to 5 to going to your purpose.
Because don't get it twisted. The path to no job is a very difficult one. And you can be planting all the right seeds in the right kind of soil, watering them just like you're supposed to, doing all the right things. But dreams, just like flowers, don't flourish and bloom overnight. And it's hard to keep going when you're busting your behind, trying to transform your life, but there's just no fruit on the vine right now. No apparent evidence that this thing is going to work or is working. I think it's really easy to get discouraged in a situation like that, especially when you're looking for the wrong signs, when you're looking for the wrong fruit. When you're looking for the wrong fruit or the wrong sign in the wrong season.
There's a struggle sometimes working at 9 to 5, just because that side hustle or passion may not be working at that moment. Sometimes you may have to just sacrifice your fun time, like watching TV or whatever, just to work harder at your purpose so you can leave at 9 to 5. Because for me personally, I don't think everybody's gonna like be sent off the ground full on with their business. Some people may have to work 9 to 5 jobs, and not all the time it has to be Walmart or like McDonald's type jobs. Sometimes it can just be you working a corporate job and starting at 18, because with the day and age now of like early college and social media editing and things like that, with people having those skills, you can work a online job or like a company high paying job so you can leave and pursue your full passion, or either pursue your full passion and work that to have more money coming, you know. But to go back to the point here with this podcast, Najee Simmons always knows how to break down the pros and the cons of how it is to have a 9 to 5 and leave it to pursue your passion, mainly just pursuing your passion while leaving that job, because it's called the No Job Podcast. So if you ever want to look at a podcast and you're struggling to leave your 9 to 5 to pursue your passion, my podcast is awesome and all. You can subscribe to it, everything like that. Hit the notification button. But also subscribe, like his videos, and hit the notification button of the No Job Podcast. Here's a clip to end off the video.
It's going to happen little by little, level by level, brick by brick. And we build and we build and we build until we have what we desire. I'm not going to sell you a dream. I'm not that guy. It might be the hardest thing that you've ever done, but it's certainly going to be worth it. Finding a way to make a living doing something that you want to do is the best thing you'll ever do for yourself. It's one of the best things you'll ever do for yourself. But look, pursuing these things come at a cost, right? How can we be smart? How can we take not just a risk? Yeah, we have to take a risk, but why can't it be a calculated risk? This episode is about calculated risks. It's about taking a chance, but not putting anything up that you can't afford to lose. Because I don't know about you guys, my passions are important to me, but my passion isn't more important than my family. My passion isn't more important than my daughter and my wife and I being able to eat. I need you to stop referring to your dream as a dream, because a dream is ethereal. A dream, it can't be grasped, and it's always protected from criticism because it's in your head, hidden away. It's protected from the reality of the real world. But I'm sorry to break it to you. Why are we so frustrated at our dumb jobs? I'm not asking you what you don't like about your job or what you hate about it. I'm asking you why you're frustrated there. I'm asking why you're still there, why you still go back to that desk, sitting in your frustration and really doing nothing about it, not doing enough on the side to have a realistic expectation of being able to transition into what you want to do. And if feeling this way isn't okay for you, then do something about it. If the idea, and this hits home for me, if the idea of your child feeling that way for her life, for his life, isn't okay for you, then you need to set a better example. You don't know. But what you do know is that you're not satisfied with your situation right now. And I know for me, and I hope and pray for you, that's motivation enough to get busy. Take a risk. This is the No Job Podcast.